In the glitzy world of WWE, where bright lights shine and crowds roar with endless energy, many superstars have paid a heavy price for glory. Behind the fame and adrenaline, they've endured not only physical pain but also deep personal losses. As their names rose to stardom, many once strong relationships began to crack under the weight of success, and marriage, something meant to be a safe haven, often turned into an emotional scar that never fully healed. Today, let's dive into the stories of WWE wrestlers who walked away from their spouses after fame took over their lives. Let's get started right now. Wrestling Sphere, go! 1. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's WWE career went through many ups and downs. Despite once holding championship gold, that image has somewhat faded from fans' memories. Before becoming the haunting Eater of Worlds, Wyatt was known as Husky Harris, a character neither he nor WWE's creative team took pride in. It was a difficult phase, but thankfully, he had the unwavering support of his then-wife, Samantha, who stood by him through both professional and personal challenges. Bray and Samantha were once a hopeful couple. They shared 2 children and seemed destined to build a happy family together. However, as Wyatt's WWE career began to take off, the pressures of fame and his demanding schedule slowly created distance between him and his family. Things took a dramatic turn when multiple sources revealed that Wyatt had started an affair with JoJo, a rising WWE personality at the time. The extramarital relationship quickly became the talk of the wrestling community, especially after Samantha went public with the story on social media. The scandal spread rapidly, drawing massive attention and placing tremendous pressure on Wyatt's family. Ultimately, Bray and Samantha decided to separate, bringing an end to a chapter filled with both memories and heartbreak. After their split, Wyatt officially began dating JoJo. His story became a striking example of how fame and temptation can challenge even the strongest relationships. Bray Wyatt's journey serves as a reminder that even the most admired individuals can falter when confronted with the power of fame and desire. Relationships once rooted in love and loyalty can crumble under the bright lights of stardom. For Wyatt, the road to success came with painful sacrifices, transforming him from a devoted husband into a complex figure in the eyes of wrestling fans. 2. Sable. Sable, a name that once dominated the WWE landscape, is now happily married to Brock Lesnar. Their marriage appears stable and full of joy, but the path that led them together was far from smooth and sparked plenty of controversy in the wrestling world. Before Lesnar entered her life, Sable had been married to Mark Merrow, a relationship many once thought would last. Things began to unravel in 2004 when Merrow discovered that Sable was romantically involved with Brock Lesnar before their divorce had been finalized. At the time, Sable was at the peak of her fame, a WWE icon known for her beauty and star power, while Lesnar was a young, ambitious superstar rapidly climbing the ranks. The revelation quickly became a major topic of discussion among wrestling fans, as many speculated about how Merrow would react to such a sensitive situation. Surprisingly, Merrow didn't respond with anger or vengeance. Instead, he chose to step back gracefully, maintaining his composure and refusing to let bitterness consume him. Over time, Merrow turned his painful experience into something meaningful. He began sharing his story during public speaking events, discussing how he overcame heartbreak, learned forgiveness, and found positivity in adversity. His reflections not only inspired others but also proved that dignity and compassion can prevail even in deeply personal and difficult moments. For Sable, the experience underscored how fame and temptation can test personal relationships in the world of WWE, where pressure and spotlight often blur boundaries. For Merrow, it became a story of strength and transformation, showing that sometimes, walking away from a relationship isn't a sign of defeat, but rather the beginning of rediscovering peace and genuine happiness. 3. Ric Flair. Ric Flair, a name almost synonymous with luxury and extravagance, has left an indelible mark on the history of WWE and the world of professional wrestling. The Nature Boy openly admitted that his famous rides on Space Mountain rarely followed any rules, once claiming to have been with over 10,000 women. The number may sound outrageous, but considering Flair's 4-decade career, his constant traveling around the globe, and the wild lifestyle that came with fame, it's not entirely hard to believe. Flair's personal life, especially his love life, was as turbulent as his in-ring career was legendary. He went through a total of 4 marriages, beginning with Leslie Goodman in 1971. During this time, Flair was rising to stardom, earning the nickname Nature Boy, and quickly becoming one of NWA's brightest stars. His career skyrocketed. In 1981, Flair captured his first NWA World Heavyweight Championship, solidifying his place as one of wrestling's greatest icons. However, with immense fame came inevitable personal challenges. His first marriage to Leslie Goodman ended in 1983, right after Flair had reached the pinnacle of his career. That same year, he remarried, highlighting how his life of passion and fame constantly intertwined but rarely found stability. The pattern continued through his later marriages, each filled with ups and downs, until he ultimately married 5 times in total, a number that Booker T once joked should qualify for the Guinness World Records. Ric Flair's story stands as a vivid example of how fame and temptation can test even the strongest personalities. Even the most gifted, admired, and successful individuals are not immune to emotional excesses. Flair left behind more than just a wrestling legacy. He became a living symbol of flamboyance, freedom, and the unpredictable side of success, a figure both admired and impossible to forget. 4. Charlotte Flair. Like father, like daughter, perfectly sums up Charlotte Flair. From her movements and ring presence to her confidence on the mic, fans can easily see Ric Flair's reflection in her every action. But Charlotte didn't just inherit her father's charisma, she also learned some of his life lessons, especially when it comes to turbulent relationships. Charlotte has endured 2 failed marriages. Her first ended due to domestic violence, while her second was with Bram, a professional wrestler who competed in Impact Wrestling between 2014 and 2017. Around the time Charlotte was promoted to WWE's main roster during the Women's Revolution in 2015, her career skyrocketed as she captured her first Divas Championship. Yet, as her career soared, her marriage began to crumble. Just 1 month after winning the title, Charlotte filed for divorce, closing a stormy chapter in her personal life. Career pressure alone wasn't the only factor behind her decision. 2 months before their separation, Bram was arrested after an altercation involving a woman who claimed to be his girlfriend, leading to 2 criminal charges. The scandal pushed Charlotte to end the marriage quickly, both to protect herself and to preserve the stability of her rapidly rising career. Charlotte Flair's story proves that even the most talented, respected, and powerful women in wrestling face emotional trials behind the spotlight. The limelight offers no protection from others' mistakes, and sometimes, walking away is the only way to preserve dignity, self-respect, and the strength to keep moving forward. 5. Booker T. Booker T stands as a clear example of how fame and professional pressure can sometimes strain personal relationships. His career began to skyrocket during the final years of World Championship Wrestling, WCW, a period when the company was struggling and many top stars were leaving. The WCW management decided to place their faith in a new generation of talent, and Booker, along with his brother Stevie Ray as the tag team Harlem Heat, was chosen to lead the company into a new era. From 2000 to 2001, just before WCW's downfall, Booker captured 4 WCW World Championships and the United States Championship, becoming one of the most prominent wrestlers of that era. His in-ring success elevated his name to new heights, but it also came with personal costs. His 5-year marriage, which began in May 1996, ended in 2001. The breakup reflected the mounting pressures of a demanding schedule, fame, and constant changes in his career, a reminder of how difficult it can be to maintain balance between work and family life. Years later, in 2005, Booker found happiness again when he married Sharmell, who later joined him on WWE television under the title Queen Sharmell. This milestone marked not only a positive turn in his personal life, but also proved that even after experiencing heartbreak, one can still find balance and new joy through growth and maturity. Booker T's story is a reminder that fame and success in the ring often come with personal sacrifices. Yet, it's through these struggles that people evolve, learning to value genuine relationships and make wiser choices for their future. 6. Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio serves as a striking example of how fame and personal life can intertwine in complex ways within WWE. Although later cleared of sexual assault allegations, Del Rio's reputation never fully recovered, and he ceased to be the beloved star he once was. Before these controversies, Del Rio married Angela Velka in 2012. However, their marriage lasted only 4 years, with cracks appearing as early as the first year. The constant travel, professional stress, and personal differences made it impossible for the couple to sustain their relationship, eventually leading to their divorce. Following the split, Del Rio's romantic life remained turbulent. He dated 2 well-known WWE female wrestlers, Charlotte Flair and Paige, and both relationships drew significant attention and controversy. His relationship with Paige, in particular, was said to have played a major role in his WWE departure, as the combination of emotional stress and professional pressure made it increasingly difficult for him to stay focused on his career. Del Rio's story highlights a harsh truth. Fame and power in WWE do not necessarily translate to happiness or stability in one's private life. Personal relationships can be severely tested, and even the most admired superstars are not immune to the emotional consequences of their choices. 7. Michelle McCool. Michelle McCool, the woman who once played a teacher on WWE television, quickly established herself as one of the company's standout female superstars, holding both the Women's Champion and Divas Champion titles. Her rise was rapid, but behind the scenes, rumors began to circulate that her success might have been connected to her relationship with WWE legend The Undertaker, who would later become her husband. Before meeting The Undertaker, McCool had been married to her high school sweetheart. The two shared a long relationship that began in their teenage years, and many believed their bond would last forever. However, when McCool was promoted to WWE's main roster, traveling more than 200 days a year, the relentless schedule and distance began to strain their marriage. Eventually, they divorced in 2006. The breakup was reportedly influenced by McCool's demanding career, which made it nearly impossible to balance personal life with her growing fame. Still, the split surprised many fans, as it showed how even the strongest relationships can crumble under the weight of professional success. It was a reminder that fame often comes at a deeply personal cost. After the divorce, McCool doubled down on her career, becoming one of WWE's top female wrestlers. Later, her relationship with The Undertaker blossomed, leading to marriage and a partnership that became one of the most well-known love stories in professional wrestling. In the end, McCool's journey proved that sometimes, leaving the past behind is the only way to open the door to new happiness and lasting fulfillment. 8. Shawn Michaels. Back in the 1990s, few names in WWE's locker room carried as much controversy as the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. From manipulating backstage politics to his wild, hedonistic lifestyle that could make even party icons like Charlie Sheen take notice, Michaels embodied the very definition of the bad boy persona in professional wrestling. Before his whirlwind romances and headline-making affairs with fellow female wrestlers like Sunny, Shawn had already walked down the aisle with his first wife, Teresa Wood. They married in 1988, right when the Rockers had just re-signed with WWE. At that time, Michaels was a young, ambitious performer trying to make a name for himself while learning how to balance fame and family life. But as his career skyrocketed, fame's bright lights and the temptations of success began to pull him in another direction. Caught up in the fast life of endless parties, reckless indulgence, and fleeting relationships, Michaels gradually drifted away from the man he used to be. The once happy marriage between Teresa and Shawn couldn't withstand the chaos. Their 6-year relationship officially ended in 1994, coinciding with the very moment Michaels solidified his position as WWE's top solo star. Years later, after enduring both personal and professional turbulence, Shawn found redemption. In 1999, he remarried, and by 2002, he had undergone a profound transformation, embracing Christianity and leaving behind his reckless past. His second marriage has endured ever since, standing as proof that even the wildest of rebels can find peace, faith, and stability. Shawn Michaels' story isn't just about success in the ring, it's about growth, forgiveness, and the redemption of one of WWE's most iconic legends. 9. Steve Austin. Steve Austin, better known by his iconic moniker Stone Cold, is one of the most legendary figures in WWE history. He was the driving force behind the Attitude Era in the late 1990s and played a crucial role in elevating WWE to unprecedented heights. With his rebellious attitude, fiery personality, and unforgettable moments inside the ring, Austin became an irreplaceable symbol for wrestling fans around the world. While many remember his marriage to Deborah, who appeared alongside him on WWE programming in the early 2000s, few recall the personal stories that came before. Long before fame found him, Austin married his high school sweetheart, Catherine Burris, in 1990. At the time, he was still climbing the ladder in WCW, slowly building his reputation. However, as his career began to gain momentum, the pressures of rising stardom started to take a toll on his private life. Rumors surfaced that during this period, Austin was involved in an affair with Lady Blossom, a situation that ultimately contributed to the collapse of his first marriage in 1992. The breakup marked a major turning point in his personal life and set the stage for the relationships that would intertwine with his wrestling career. Just a year later, Austin married Lady Blossom, the woman at the center of those earlier rumors. Unfortunately, that marriage also didn't last. By 1999, at the height of his WWE fame, Austin began dating Deborah, who would become both his on-screen partner and real-life wife. Each relationship throughout his life seemed to mirror a chapter in his evolution, from an ambitious young wrestler to a rebellious megastar, and finally to a man striving for stability beyond the spotlight. 10. Batista. Batista, known for his massive physique and stoic presence in the ring, gained fame not only for his dominance as a performer but also for his turbulent love life that often drew as much attention as his matches. From the very start of his wrestling journey, his personal world was filled with challenges, making his off-screen life as dramatic as anything in WWE. His first marriage to Glenda lasted 8 years, long enough for them to experience countless ups and downs together. However, as Batista's professional career began to take shape, the growing demands of wrestling, coupled with reports of infidelity, strained their relationship beyond repair. Eventually, they separated, closing a significant chapter in his personal story. That same year, Batista married Angie, hoping to find renewed stability and peace. For a while, life seemed balanced, until global fame came calling. With success came temptations, constant media attention, money, and the allure of celebrity life. Rumors soon emerged about a possible affair with WWE diva Melina, sparking controversy and putting immense pressure on his second marriage. In the end, the relationship with Angie crumbled under the weight of fame and speculation, marking another public and painful ending. These relationships reflected the duality of Batista's life, the disciplined, powerful performer on screen, and the flawed, conflicted man off it. Despite his image as a symbol of strength and control, Batista's personal story shows that even the mightiest can struggle with the emotional cost of fame and the battle between love and ambition. 11. The Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior, one of WWE's most unforgettable icons, was known for his explosive personality and electrifying performances that captivated fans around the world. Although he had several major conflicts with Vince McMahon during the 1990s, his legacy continues to be honored today. Every year, WWE presents the Warrior Award at the Hall of Fame ceremony in his memory. His wife, Dana Warrior, now a familiar face to WWE audiences, often appears on television representing his legacy. However, Dana wasn't the Ultimate Warrior's first wife. Before meeting her, he was married to Sherry Lynn Tyree. The two shared 9 years together before divorcing in 1991, marking the end of a challenging early chapter in his personal life. The Ultimate Warrior rose to superstardom in the late 1980s and early 1990s, with his legendary match against Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6 serving as a defining moment. That bout catapulted him into the top ranks of WWE and made him one of the company's most powerful new stars. At his peak, many believed he would dominate the wrestling world for years to come. However, just a year later in 1992, serious disagreements with Vince McMahon led to his abrupt departure from WWE. Although his run at the top was brief, the global fame and impact he achieved cemented his status as one of wrestling's most memorable figures. Despite being celebrated by WWE as a symbol of perseverance and integrity, the Ultimate Warrior's personal life was not without flaws and hardships. His first marriage's collapse reflected the immense pressure of fame and the difficulty of balancing personal happiness with a demanding career. Still, through triumphs and trials, the Ultimate Warrior remained an enduring legend, a powerhouse of energy and individuality whose legacy continues to inspire generations of fans. 12. Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella, one of the breakout stars of Total Divas and now co-host of her own show alongside her twin sister Brie, has long been one of WWE's most recognizable female superstars. A former WWE Divas champion, Nikki played a key role in many of the company's biggest storylines, including the unforgettable moment when John Cena proposed to her at WrestleMania, one of the most talked-about scenes in WWE history. Before her high-profile relationship with Cena, Nikki had a brief romance with Dolph Ziggler, but few fans know that she was actually married once before joining WWE. At just 20 years old, she tied the knot with her high school sweetheart, a relationship that seemed full of promise but ended 3 years later. Coincidentally, this was around the same time Nikki and Brie officially signed with WWE, opening the door to a brand new chapter in her life and career. It might have been fate, or perhaps the famous twin magic that defined the Bella twins, but Nikki and Brie quickly rose to prominence in WWE. Their chemistry and charisma made them instant fan favorites, earning them spots in major storylines and opportunities alongside some of the biggest names in the industry. Together, they helped redefine the women's division and carve out their own space in WWE history. Despite the ups and downs in her personal life, Nikki Bella has remained a symbol of strength and determination. From a young woman who experienced marriage and heartbreak early on to becoming one of WWE's most accomplished and beloved stars, Nikki's journey reflects resilience, growth, and the unshakable drive that made her a true icon of women's wrestling. 13. John Cena. John Cena, often regarded as the face of WWE since 2005, carried the company on his shoulders for over a decade. Known for his strength, charisma, and unshakable determination, Cena became one of the most recognizable figures in wrestling history. Yet, behind his larger-than-life persona, his personal life has seen its share of turbulence and heartbreak. Before rising to global superstardom, Cena married his high school sweetheart, Elizabeth Huberdeau, in 2009. However, the marriage was short-lived. Reports suggested that during his years on the road with WWE, Cena was unfaithful to Elizabeth, which ultimately strained their relationship beyond repair. After just 3 years, they divorced, a stark reminder that even megastars are not immune to the pressures and temptations that come with fame. Not long after, Cena began dating Nikki Bella. The two quickly became one of WWE's most talked-about couples, capturing the hearts of fans both on and off screen. Their relationship reached its peak when Cena proposed to Nikki at WrestleMania 33, in what many called a real-life WWE fairy tale moment. At the time, they were seen as the perfect couple, two of the company's brightest stars, both successful, admired, and deeply connected to the WWE universe. However, their relationship ultimately didn't lead to marriage. Nikki later revealed that the primary reason for their breakup was Cena's reluctance to have children. Despite their mutual love and respect, their differences about family life proved too great to overcome. The split served as a reminder that even those at the top of their careers face personal struggles that money and fame can't fix. Today, John Cena has found happiness with Shea Shariatsity, with whom he has built a stable and private life away from the spotlight. Beyond the ring, Cena continues to leave his mark as a 17-time world champion and a true WWE legend. As of late 2025, he is expected to officially retire, closing an extraordinary chapter of dedication, resilience, and legacy in professional wrestling history. And those were the WWE Superstars who lost love when fame took over their lives. Which story impressed you the most? Leave a comment below, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the exciting videos coming up from Wrestling Sphere.